Do we need complete economic doom for the silver price to get to $50 per ounce? Gold, $2,500 per ounce. The problem that us silver and gold investors are facing is that all we're hearing about are good economic news. GDP numbers, jobs numbers, you name it. We're being barraged with a flurry of supposed good economic news. But is the reality something different? Let's examine this problem, and let's do it with our good friend Coin Shop Chris. Welcome to Ron's Basement.
It's always good to be back in the basement, Ron. Not so good out there right now. If everybody can just please like, share, and subscribe, I appreciate it. Ron would appreciate it. Let's show Ron some love here, because Ron needs a lot of love right now.
Ron needs love. We all need love. And let's say thank you to our viewer who's with us today and who is dealing with what has been kind of a challenging environment for precious metals as we hear all this great news. Let's take a look at the jobs numbers yesterday, Chris. What did you think about this unbelievable, great job creation number?
Job creation, I'm seeing more and more, Ron, going, everybody's laying off. What we got, UPS, eBay, we got Google laying off, we got Levi's laying off. I mean, the list goes on, and they're creating, what jobs are they really creating? That's what I would like to know.
Yeah, well, there's also a big component to this. There was a great article by Zero Hedge that pointed out most of the job supposed gains were because of seasonal adjustments, meaning there weren't really job gains, but they like adjust the numbers because January's always a bad month. Also, the vast majority of the jobs that were created, again, were part-time jobs.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before, Ron. Someone, if Costco starts laying off, they pay good. Well, that Costco person's going to go down, they pay what, 23, 24 bucks an hour plus. Then if you start working for these, and where are you going to go after that, Ron? You might go to McDonald's, fast food, or something like that, and they really don't pay. And you're going to have drive Uber or go to drive for Grubhub or something like that. And they count it as two jobs.
Yeah.
And the person's still making not even the same amount of money.
Well, my daughters told me that they were at their school asking if they do any chores around the house and if they get paid. So now they're counting the fact that my daughter Lillian feeds our cats every morning and gets paid $5 a week. Apparently, they're counting that as a job as well.
Apparently they are. I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's.
Well, Peter Grandich said that the numbers are a farce. And he also mentioned that the BLS should change their name. They should drop the L and just be the BS. So I think it's generally accepted that those numbers need to be looked at in a rather critical matter. We also got news recently about the GDP, right? Supposedly in the fourth quarter. And all this good news hurts. It's a problem for us. It hurts the price of silver and gold because everybody says, well, the economy's so great, soft landing, no recession. The Fed can keep rates higher for longer. And that puts downward pressure on silver and gold. Although I want to talk about gold here in a little bit after we talk about GDP, because the action that we're seeing in gold is encouraging. But what about the GDP numbers, Chris? The GDP grew by more than 3% in the fourth quarter.
Well, look what people have done, Ron. They maxed out the credit cards. It was a lot of it, we can argue the point. Some of it may have been coming from Christmas spending. But, having looking at some of the numbers at the shop and, hearing people who work for different stores and stuff, fourth quarter was really not that great. So where did it really come from?
Well, a big part of it came from a boom in recreational vehicle sales, which everyone is scratching their head about that. I wrote this down. Nobody expected such a strong economy, right? That's what we're hearing now. Strong jobs growth and low inflation, right? Nobody expected that. But no one also expected the fact that we have sky-high housing prices. Everybody, like you just mentioned, has their credit cards maxed out. Oh, and by the way, did we forget to mention there's 34 trillion and growing in national debt?
And we're going to be, by the end of February, they're estimating to be over close to 35 trillion, Ron.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's scary, Ron. You know, I'm loving the low prices right now on silver and gold, especially silver at this point. Um, you know, it's the greatest time to trade your dollars into silver at this point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, what we're dealing with and what we really want to see are higher prices for silver, a real true price discovery for silver. And yes, the supposed great economic numbers, right? I mean, the job situation, the GDP, that is putting a real tamper on the gold and silver price. But let's recognize we did close out the week last week, right? With gold around $2,040 per ounce. I mean, I'm surprised. I would have thought that the gold price would be in the mid 1900s per ounce right now, that despite what was probably the worst case scenario for the precious metals, gold did pretty darn well for the week and silver held its own.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we're down a little bit on silver, but I will, you know, I mean, like I've said already in this video, Ron, I mean, prices are low. Take advantage of it. We have to take advantage of it now.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen in 2 weeks? What's going to happen in 3 weeks? I think we're going to see a boom, and people are going to wake up and say, "Holy crap! What just happened?" And it's going to be too late. I mean, people waiting for $14 silver. It's not going to happen. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. The you know, we do have some potential events on the horizon that could be cataclysmic for the economy. We have the Bank Term Funding Program, which will be terminated on March 11th. That was the bailout program for the banks from last year. We know that bank up in New York, what was it, New York Community Bank, just this last week, their stock plummeted by like 50%. And that was the bank that had taken on all the assets of one of the banks that failed last year, Signature Bank. And now the Fed's pulling the rug on this whole bailout program. That's March 11th. The other big thing that a lot of people have a hard time, it's a problem for a lot of people, including me, to completely grasp, but it's this reverse repo program that the Fed has that has been drained. That has been kind of a backdoor stimulus for the economy and allowed the banks to support the treasury market. During the COVID crisis, you know, the U.S. government printed, 40% of the U.S. dollars that were in existence. The banks had all these dollars. They didn't know what to do with them. The Fed said, we'll set up this reverse repo program. We'll trade you. We'll take those dollars and give you treasuries, but it's a repo program. It's a repurchase. So at some point in the future, which is happening now, the Fed is saying, we're giving you your cash back. So that reverse repo, that fund that the Fed had was up to like $2.5 trillion. It's being drained now. It's only down to like 500 billion. So the banks have gotten like $2 trillion in cash over the last year alone. And all that cash, what are they going to do with it? What's the best thing they can do with it? They've been buying U.S. government debt, but that money's that slush fund has almost run dry. People are projecting, and I've got a chart here I can hold up real quick. There's the chart of it, right? And that's where we are right now. People are projecting that it could be out of money March, April timeframe, and that could also cause some cataclysmic results within the economy.
This next quarter, on the next 4 months, you know, really 2 to 4 months, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. I've said before, you know, Ron, I was looking at, you know, mid-February, you know, I've heard another person say on another YouTube video, Ron, the government's going to win. Once we get into the CBDC, they need 3 days to reset everything. So that means they would need a Saturday, Sunday, and a holiday Monday. Well, President say it's coming up around the corner. Wouldn't it be that just be the perfect time for him to post something over that weekend? It's a watch and see mode. And, you know, Ron, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not betting everything I have on this, but I would not be surprised if we don't see in late February a emergency Fed meeting. Could happen. It's happened in the past. It's a watch and see at this point.
the Fed's going to find themselves increasingly boxed in or painted into a corner. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out. So is the news in the economy really all that good? Is the GDP really that strong? Is the jobs creation, is it really that strong? I don't know. And again, that's a problem for us silver and gold investors, because the longer they can perpetuate this illusion, and I guess I'll sum it up by saying that I think it's nothing more than an illusion, but the longer they can perpetuate it, the longer they'll be able to keep a lid on the silver and gold prices. And then when the other thing I think that we all need to consider, what does it mean that the world is like at war right now? I mean, just yesterday we attacked, Iraq and Syria, because of what happened with the 3 U.S. servicemen. The situation in the Middle East is a powder keg, and we've got the BRICS this year. They're having a big meeting in October, but they're having a lot of meetings running up to that. And guess who's heading up the BRICS? Do you know who's heading up the BRICS this year, Chris?
I have no clue, Ron.
Russia.
Well, that don't surprise me. I was going to say Russia or China. That was my 2 guesses.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting year. Oh yeah, and by the way, we have this peaceful, agreeable presidential election that'll be occurring all at the same time. Can you believe all this stuff, Chris?
It's going to be an interesting year, and you say about how good everything. People want to say how good it is. Well, Ron, I do a lot of buying graded coins off of eBay and stuff, and I got a message from one of these sellers, and I'm gonna not read it all to protect his ID here, but he says, "Hello, just a quick note. I just listed my last 2 coins, all out after that. This is my last 2. I can't find any more. Thanks for purchasing. I really hate to sell my coins. I have to pay bills that are really piling up." Well, I just got another order from this guy. He is actually in auto sales, Ron. So what is that saying? People not buying cars, and he's a manager. I got his business card, and what is this really saying to us? He's got some nice stuff, Ron. And it's sad that people have to sell at this point in time. It's the worst time to sell.
Yeah, it's definitely getting tough out there. Hey, real quick, I want to say thanks to our channel sponsor, Fortuna Silver Mines. They're a global gold and silver mining company. They have 5 mines located around the world. They have a very solid balance sheet, and I think, if not the best, one of the best management teams in the business. You can learn more about them at fortunasilver.com. What do you want to cover next, Chris?
No, I just, people are going to call us silver pumpers. That's fine. Call me a silver pumper. But I would encourage you, if you got extra fiat on the sidelines and you're waiting for a bigger dip in silver, I'm here to say, I don't think we're going to see that $14. And if we did see that $14 silver on, you're going to pay the same prices you're paying today, if not more. The premiums will go to the roof like they did back in March, and you'll be paying $55 for a silver raw Eagle. That's what's going to happen.
You're a silver pumper, Chris.
I am a silver pumper, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not.
I'm a silver. We're both silver pumpers. And you know what? There's a third person joining us right now, and I bet they're a silver pumper too. We're going to ask you, are you a silver pumper? If you are, leave that in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing that. We will put out a piece of content every day for the rest of our lives together, something about silver, gold, what's going on in the world. We're going to dig a little deeper, and we're all going to do it together. And we always welcome you joining us here in the community at Ron's Basement.
Absolutely. Let's do the Pinex deal of the week, Ron.
Okay, Chris.
I kind of love this deal this week, and I just want to give Pinex a big thank you for this one this week. We're going to do the 2024 1-ounce kookaburras. Let
me interject one thing. Chris compares the price on these products at the same time on the same day, and he compares the same purchase method, meaning what it costs to buy 1 or 10. He'll always tell us for the cash or ACH. So we are comparing apples or kookaburras to kookaburras.
That's right. And this is for the 1 ounce 2024s. And I tell you, this design is probably one of the best designs they have done. I love the perf mint. They do a beautiful job on their coins. They do come in capsules, which is a plus. A lot, the American Eagles don't come in capsules. They come in tubes. This is for 1 kookaburra. You can buy as many as you want. They come, if you buy 20 or more, 20, they come shrink wrap in like a nice hard plastic, not hard plastic, but a cellophane. They will come in that. So for Muddy Meadows, for 1, they were $30.37, Ron. At Hero Bowling, they were $29.07. At SD Bowling, that everybody seems to be, all these YouTubers seem to go with SD Bowling, and they think they got the best price. Sorry, guys, not this week. SD Bowling was $29.05. Atmax was $29.88. JM Bowling was $29.87. BGASC was $28.87, but Pinbacks nicked them out at $28.52.
Wow. Almost a
so that's
dollar.
like $1.65 or so, $1.58, whatever the math is. I didn't do the math on it this week, Ron. Pinbacks
well,
is
so
the
if
best
you
price.
buy, I can do the math. So if it's $1.50 difference from highest to lowest for the exact same coin, if you buy 20 of them, you're going to save yourself $30. So you could buy 20 and then get yourself a free bonus coin if you decided to go with Pinbex. Pinbex is our channel sponsor, PIMBEX, online bullion dealer. What we've found is they have the best prices, best selection and service, and they're a company you can trust.
Well, we can describe this way: buy 20, get 1 free from Pinbacks over Money Metals, Ron. That's where that's where you got to look at it.
Yes.
Why wouldn't anybody want to pay the lowest price possible and get the most bang for their buck and get an extra ounces, get an extra kookaburra, from paying from the top prices? I don't know, Ron, but if you want to pay more money, I guess, well, that's up to you guys. I'd rather pay the cheapest price possible and still get the most silver for my dollars.
Yeah, get yourself a free kookaburra. What about the 30-day numbers? I know everyone's on the edge of their seats to hear what happened over the last 30 days, Chris.
It's not too good, Ron. Silver was down $1.16 or down 4.86%. Gold was down $16.30 or down 0.79%. Platinum took a big hit, down $97.10 or down 9.73%. Bitcoin was also down. Our lovely Bitcoin, which is a scam, it's rat poison. That was down $1,938.48 or down 4.31%. Oil, I've been on oil for the past couple months now, Ron. Oil is up $2.03 a barrel or up 2.88%. And the silver gold to ratio, Ron, and I'm glad you're sitting down for this one, 90.26.
Wow, we hit 90. Even Steven, huh?
90.25. Yeah.
Just want to remind everybody that means that if you want to trade some American Silver Eagles for an American minted gold coin, you would take 4 tubes of 20 Eagles and another 10 Eagles. So 4 full tubes and 10 single Eagles, 90 Eagles to get yourself 1 gold coin. Not against gold. I love gold, but to me, that's just to me, that's not an attractive trade, but to some people, and I could definitely be wrong.
Silver is so undervalued, Ron. Get silver over gold right now, I would say, and trade silver for gold later when the ratio comes back flying back down. And it will. At what point? Nobody knows. Andy Scheckman had said the same thing over and over and over again. And he's right. He even apologizes for repeating the same thing. He don't need to apologize. He's trying to warn everybody. And I'm going to give him the credit too, because, people like you, Ron, people like me, people like Andy, people like Lynette Zane, and all the other YouTubers really do a great job of trying to get this information out there. But the problem is most people are asleep underneath a rock. You know, most Americans are asleep underneath a rock, and it's sad. They're worried about what they're going to do next weekend, Ron. Going to the casino, going to having their drinks at the Applebee's and everything else, going to Starbucks, and that's what people, you know, most people, that's what most people do. They don't, they just care about today. They don't care about tomorrow. They care about the next party. Well, I tell you, don't worry about the parties. Get your silver and gold, more silver than gold right now. And I'll leave it as that.
Yeah, and you know, the way I look at it is, if you think about it like the Titanic, right? The Titanic started having a little bit of problems. I think the silver and gold investors are the people that got on the first lifeboat. And we're out, you know, 200 yards now from the Titanic, and we can see that she's starting to lean, right? But there's still a lot of people on the Titanic that are dancing and partying and having a good time. And when things really get bad, right, there aren't going to be any silver or gold lifeboats available. We'll already be in them, and there won't be any new seats. So, you know, it's an interesting problem that we've been facing lately for silver and gold investors, right? All this great news from the economy, right? GDP, employment numbers, like we covered. But I think if you really, you know, peel back the covers and look at what's going on under the hood, it's not such great news. And eventually, like we always say on this channel, mathematics shows no forgiveness on the altar of truth. We will see a true price discovery for silver and gold. We want to say thank you for joining us today, you, and I want to say thank you to Coin Shop Chris. If you want to say thank you to Coin Shop Chris, we'll have a link in the description of this video with his PayPal, and we'll also put a pinned comment where if you want to throw him a few dollars to say thanks for his contributions to this video, to the channel, you can do that there. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications, give this a thumbs up, and most important, take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Ron, and share this out to everybody, please.